here's our free response question on the practice test. A large school district is interested in determining student attitudes about their co-curricular offerings such as athletics and fine arts. Co-curricular, I think we call it extracurricular at our school. The district consists of students attending 4 elementary schools, so there's 2,000 elementary students, 1 middle school, and 2 high schools. Okay, so we have 2,000 elementary students, 1,000 middle school students, and 2,000 high school students. The administration is considering 2 sampling plans. The first consists of taking a simple random sample of students in the district and surveying them. The second consists of taking a stratified random sample of students and surveying them. Part A, describe how you would select a simple random sample of 200 students in the district. All right, so the first thing I would do is I would label the students from 1 to, let's see, 2,000, 1,000, 5,000. There's 5,000 total students. Label students from 1 to 5,000. Okay. Next, I'd use a random number generator with the min of 1 and a max of 5,000, and I would produce 200 unique numbers, meaning no repeats. Use a random number generator, min equals 1, max equals 5,000, to produce 200 unique numbers, so no repeats. Okay, and then the third step, select the students who match the numbers. Okay. All right. Now, I don't know, I'm going to guess it's going to ask us later, but the issue with this is that just by chance, those 200 students might mostly be elementary students. Okay. So then your sample isn't going to be truly representative of all the students in the district. It's going to give too much weight to the opinions of elementary students. Okay. Right. Or, at the other extreme, maybe those 200 students are mostly at the high school level. Okay. So now high schoolers are overrepresented in your sample. Your sample doesn't really reflect the whole district. It's gonna reflect the high schoolers more than any other grade level. Okay, B. Describe how you would select a stratified random sample consisting of 200 students. Okay, so 200 students. Okay, so I want each grade level to be represented proportionally, right? So there's 5,000 students total. So 2/5 of them are elementary. 1/5, so this is 2/5 elementary, 1/5 middle school, 2/5 high school. All right, so 2/5 of my sample should be elementary students, 1/5 of the sample should be middle school, and 2/5 of the sample should be high school. So that's going to be 40, it should be 80, 40, 80. So 80 elementary, 40 middle school, and 80 at the high school level, right? That will preserve that 2/5, 1/5, 2/5 ratio. Okay, so the process. Step number 1, label the elementary students 1 to 2,000. Then use a random number generator set from 1 to 2,000 to produce 80 numbers, no repeats. select the elementary students who match those numbers. All right, that's the first phase. The next phase is to repeat this process for the middle schoolers. So let me duplicate this. Let me make a little separator here. Okay, so now we're going to say label the middle school students. And here we only need to label them to 1,000. Okay. Use a random number generator, set from 1 to 1,000, and we're only going to produce 40 numbers now. And then we'll select the middle school students who match those numbers. All right, and then now we need to repeat this process for the high school students. Okay, so label the high school students 1 to 2,000. That was how many there were, right? 2,000, yeah. Use a random number generator to produce 80 numbers, no repeats, and then select the high school students who match those numbers. Okay, so we're sampling a little bit from all three levels, okay, and then we would combine the 80 elementary students, the 40 middle school students, the 80 high school students to get our final sample of 200 students from the district. All right, part C. Describe the statistical advantage of using a stratified random sample over the simple random sample in this study. All right, so the advantage, here I want to show you this image from the Taylor Swift activity. Let's see if I can find it here. Taylor Swift. Okay, so when we had a stratified sample, that's the green dot plot, right? Not only did we have low bias, right, because it was random, that's why the bias is low, but the variability was low as well, meaning that our estimate is closer to the truth than any of the other methods that we did in this activity. Okay? So stratifying is going to give you an estimate that tends to be closer to the truth, or you can just describe it as there's going to be lower variability in the estimates. All right. The estimate will have lower variability. The estimate will tend to be closer to the truth, since a stratified random sample is going to be more representative of all the students in the district. The simple random sample should be representative, but again, when you're dealing with a random number generator, you don't know what numbers it's going to produce, right? It might produce a bunch of numbers so that, when you get those 200 students, a majority of them are tend to come from one level. Maybe it's the elementary level, right? And now your sample really isn't representative of the whole district. It's mostly representative of the elementary students. Okay. Stratifying solves that issue by guaranteeing proportional representation, right, or fair representation of all three levels of students in the district, right, giving you that more representative sample.